One of the very first videos I ever did was of a Labradorite with a really pretty flash across the surface. Labradorite is like this grayish green stone, but every once in a while it has like a rainbow flash that goes across it. And this one has a really good one. So like the third episode I've ever done was what I'm about to do just now. I did that in silver. This one I'm going to do in antique copper. I took about 2 feet of it, and what I did before I turned the camera on is I took the middle and I made a loop basically, and that's all I did. So you're not really missing anything much. I'm going to decide which part is the top, and then I'm going to place it like this. So here's the tricky part, and I kind of made this up a little bit on my own, so if you have a better way to do it, go for it. But you're basically trying to outline the edges here, and I'm pushing it flat on the tabletop from all directions, and then I'm gonna bend it right here, and I'm trying to press it from every direction with every finger I have. Thank goodness I have all these fingers. If I didn't have fingers like this, I'd have to ask someone to help me. So now we bent this across the 2 wires, and this part is going to go across the front, and this one we're going to push out of the way. We're going to put it across the back later. So basically I'm going to do almost the exact same one as episode 3 Labradorite. That's the name of it, and you can look it up if you want, but it's basically the same thing. This customer just really wanted one of my last Labradorites that I had. This is a cabochon, meaning it doesn't have a hole drilled through it. It's rounded on top and flat on the bottom, like a lot of gemstones that usually have professional settings in high-end jewelry places where they actually create the metal like teeth to come around it and then close down on it. But we're doing it more elegant and beautifully because we are artists. We're not high-end expensive jewelry makers. We're better than that. We're bohemian, amazing people. So I'm just gonna make a couple curves here. And like that. And then I'm gonna come up to the top, and I'm gonna lean this top loop over the table so I can get it around. You can come with me. Still holding everything super tight. Okay, got that around once. That's gonna stay now until I do something else with it. And just make it flat now so it's out of our way. And we're gonna come back, and these are still trying to get them back together. I'm gonna go back to the table edge, and this one we're gonna cross over, and now we have to lift. And we're going to carefully position this one and do the same thing. Do we have to do a design on the front and back? No, we don't. But this design helps to hold the later strands we're going to put through. And it also just looks kind of cool, and the customer will appreciate it. And if the worst happens and the necklace actually flips on their neck or they put it on backwards, no one will probably ever know because it looks just as good from the back. Yeah. So now you gotta be careful. See, it's slipping out here. This is the hardest part. Is until we get this secure, the edges are gonna keep slipping. So it's trying to slip out. We need to keep the periphery secure, like they say in the action movies. Is the perimeter secured? We need to keep this around the edge of the Labradorite. It's already shrunk a little. I squeezed it tight, so I'm gonna say going around the very edge. I'm gonna now I think I can squeeze it back. There we go. We got it. We got it. This takes a lot of playing with it and maneuvering it and fighting it, and this is why I don't recommend you ever do anything the way I do it, because not because it's better, but because it's worse. But here we go. I think we're getting it now. All right, so before I mess up anything else, we're just gonna wrap this one around the top now. And there we go. Okay, now the stone is kind of secure. It wants to bounce out, but it's held a little bit better than before. Now comes the really, really good part where we really secure it. That's where, this was 18 gauge. We're gonna get 26 gauge. Okay, I'm gonna take a little more than 2 feet of this. Ooh, these new cutters work great. Before I do anything else, I'm gonna get this, scarf this so I get these wires out of my way, because they're really just in my way right now. So let's make that a nice scarf. Okay, you've gone up high enough. Let's cut you. Let's try the cutters again. Ooh, they have a nice. Whoa, that's some amazing cutting. I've never experienced that. There's almost no effort on my part, and the wire just snipped right off without a fight. I don't know what this new voodoo is. Okay, we'll scarf this part a little higher. That's good. Let's try this again. I love that angle. Ooh, it just cut. And it didn't shoot the wire across into my face. I've had so many pieces of wire stuck in my face. One year for Halloween, I just went as a porcupine after leaving the jewelry making stand. Okay, there we go. Oh, I'm liking this. Some people ask, why can't you leave it just like that? Well, this stone is very susceptible to slipping out. In fact, if I just pick it up right now, it might slip out. So I'm just repositioning these more in the middle of the stone. But the big fight is going to be keeping these edges right along the edge as we thread it. But here's our, let's start with our 26 gauge. And I think I took too much. I'd rather take a smaller amount and then come back with more if I need to. So I'm going to cut it again. Ooh, these cutters are like, oh, sends a shiver down my spine. It's like, they're so easy. All right, I'm going to start by threading this somewhere in here. That's a good place, right on the bottom there. And I'm going to take it to the middle of the wire, so now I can have both ends to do something different. And basically I'm gonna wrap it around a loop, and I'm gonna zigzag. I'm gonna wrap around a loop and then come back to the edge, wrap around another part, come back to the edge, wrap around another part. Do the same thing on this side. Wrap, 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 like make like a spider web of diagonals. And do the same on the back. Spider web of diagonals, spider web diagonals. Look at that flash on the back, wow. And that way, it holds it secure and it adds to the beauty. You don't have to use 26, you could use 24, 28, anything around there is close, even 22, but that's wire's gonna fight you a little bit. Anyway, let's do this. Just carefully threading it through. Whoops, there we go. There's our first. Dun 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 dun. See, we'll just pull it tight. We're going to make this more secure here. I'm going to pull this around one more time just to get it secure. Sometimes the wire behaves just like thread, especially if it's really thin wire. If you're used to sewing, you'll find it really easy. Other times the wire does its own thing, and it has a mind of its own, and you'll be like, this is not like thread at all, what the heck? So you just got to get used to it. I'm going to come around the edge now. Like that. Oops, it keeps wanting to bounce out too. Thread doesn't bounce that way. Thread doesn't get kink. There's a number of things. You don't have to worry about going in the flow with the thread. You just put it in and pull it pretty much. I could be wrong. Maybe there's some things about sewing I don't know. But we came around there. And now I'm going to do a diagonal right into this little wedgie right here. There we go. A little crevice. That little... There we go, that's pulling that tight. Can you guys see this? This wire is a lot harder to see. When I did it in silver, it was a lot easier. Watch the other video, it's probably better. The only reason I'm doing this again is like, why not? I mean, you guys don't mind, right? You can always turn it off if you mind, I guess, unless somebody's holding you hostage. Like, if somebody ever kidnapped someone and held them hostage to watch my videos, that would be so cruel. I can't think of anything, you know. Why would someone do that? Like... You think about that, doesn't that upset you to think that someone might do that? It really bothers me. Sometimes I stay awake at night worrying about these things. It's important to worry about the important things, the things that are likely to happen. Now as you're crisscrossing, see the crisscross there? As you're crisscrossing, Just make sure the wire grabs onto a good point where it's not going to slide up and down. That's how you maintain your crisscrossing, what's the word, integrity. You got to crisscross with integrity, otherwise the crisscross police will come and give you a crisscross ticket. I think I'm talking too much. I should probably do more work. Should probably get more of this done. Oh, that was a nice thread. Pull that through. Oh, when it gets good through the right way, it just feels so good. Look at that. And that's I'm pretty much done. I have a lot left. I was just gonna wrap it around the top and scarf it, but you know what? I think I might have enough to come down the other side. So I'm gonna go once around the neck. I like to call that the neck. That's just my thing. And we're gonna keep going. Let's thread it into this. Whoops. I'm really excited about how completely easy this is. I was expecting it to be much harder, but you got to pull this every once in a while. Get your fingernails under part of it to open it up enough to get the thread under, because sometimes it's really tight. But this is already hugging the stone really nicely, and the stone is getting secure as we speak. There we go. Got that one under, I think. Ah, I had it slipped. Talking too much. Let's try to get that. There we go. It's in. I'm gonna make sure it doesn't bounce back out again. Okay. There we go. Ugh. All right. Okay. See? Do you see? Let's pull that tight. All right. We'll just keep going with that. Also, you want to check as you're going that your perimeter is not like sliding too far off of the side of the stone. You don't want to slide too far up. Okay, so this first strand ended right here beautifully. Now we can just give it a little pinch. Turn it into a coil, a swirl, and just turn it sideways and start rolling it in. And then we'll just tuck it cutely right in there, underneath that little guy if we can, and get it in there. There we go. If it doesn't want to tuck, let's fold it over the back. Or, oh, there's a side there. Maybe we can just kind of shove it in there. We'll give it a little E6000 right there. We won't glue it to the stone. We'll just glue the wire to itself. All right, let's get started on the back now. Gonna do the same thing with the back, so you got the idea by now. Once you get one side done, you come around to the other. You can kind of use the cross parts of the first strand as like points for the wire to grab onto, because that way it won't slide because it's already caught at a crossroads, if that makes sense. Also, doing the back, this is where you could pull the frame back towards where it was originally if it got pulled the other way by doing the front. Now sadly, this wire is only about 2 inches too short to finish, so I'm gonna have to, I don't know if I can make it. Maybe I can make it. Let's see. I'm gonna be cutting it close. Come on, grab. I need something to give me better pliers now. Somebody gave me amazing cutters. No, I'm just kidding. Nobody has to give me anything. No, I think we're gonna make it. We're good, we're in there. We just need to get it around. Got it around there.
Do you make necklaces with your...
Well, did you hear that? Somebody just ran up to me and asked me a question. People just walk up to me and think that like I'm friendly and I'll speak to them. It's weird. I don't know how I give off that vibe. I work very hard at my antisocial tendencies to convince people that this is not a safe place to speak freely. But I don't know, they don't get the clue always. Alright, we're pretty much done. We got it. I'm just getting it through that last little part right there. Oh, get it in there. If I had better pliers, I could really grab. Just keep slipping. There we go. We got it. We're in. Yes. We have just enough left to do the tiniest swirl. Oh, I love it. We cut it so close. I love it when we cut it close. It's like it's like the end of an action movie. It's like heart pounding, heart racing, adrenaline pumping. It's like, is Matt gonna make it? It's a matter of life or death, or grabbing another piece of wire. It's pretty much the same as life or death. So I'm just gonna fold this guy right over right there, and look at that. Just throw the E6000 right there, and we're done. E6000 doesn't even have to like touch the stone again. We're just gonna glue the wire to itself. That way, just so the sometimes you can lift it up like that. The E6000 on the other side. So awesome. This is so great. Yes. All right. I'm actually gonna have to make some jump rings because I don't have a anti-copper jump rings, and this looks too pretty to put the wrong color with it. So this is 18 gauge. I wish I had 16. That would be better, but whatever. This is my little jump ring mandrel. It's a jump ring mandrel made for making jump rings, in case you were wondering what it was for. Then we're done. We slide it off. Get our fingernails in there. Hole. Now we have, whoops, bang the camera.
Come over to look at your art. Is that okay?
And then we cut them in the same place as we go down. Because these jump rings are like a little weaker because they're copper. I like to buy my jump rings because they're made of stronger metal. But instead of using 3, I'm going to use 5. Just make it extra strong. Just